How to get a narcissist to respect you, or at least treat you right, because respect for a narcissist is not quite what we deem is respect. When we talk about a narcissist respecting someone, we mean that they look up to them. But as far as honor, when we think about respect, or when we do respect, they lack that part. Yes, they'll look up to another, but it comes with envy. They would like to have some of the attributes that they see as worthy, and they're extremely jealous. But what I mean as far as respect is that they'll treat these people in high regard. You won't see them verbally abusing them, not to their faces anyway. They'll listen when they speak and won't call them idiots or laugh in their faces when they have an opinion. Basically, they won't be belligerents around them. They know how to behave. So they use the behavior to manipulate others into friending them in order to get what they want from this so-called relationship. The narcissist is a hypocrite. Being around these alliances has advantages for them. They might look good having them in their circle. They might need them for something one day. But this video is not about them for once. This time it's about you and what you can do to stop being treated so disrespectfully by those in your life, whether they be a co-worker, sibling, boss, parent, friend, or partner. So for those who don't know me, my name is Deanna King, and this channel is All Talk Narcissism and Codependency. In today's video, we'll talk about all the things that you can do to be treated with respect around a narcissist and take back control over your life. Navigating relationships with narcissists can be extraordinarily challenging due to their pervasive and self-centeredness and lack of empathy. Narcissists struggle to respect others due to their inflated sense of superiority and need for admiration. However, gaining respect from a narcissist is not only possible, but can also help in managing interactions more effectively. In this video, let's look at some strategies that you can start to apply if you want to maintain your own boundaries while engaging with narcissistic individuals. The first one that I want to talk about is to get your confidence back. Build up your self-esteem. Narcissists, they go after the weak ones. They go after people who are usually smart, successful, or stable, but they'll only be attracted to the person if that person has one more characteristic that goes along with these attributes, and that is low self-esteem. Many of us that are in narcissistic relationships are independent people. We are go-getters, and we often are positive thinkers, but we're also empaths, and often our empathy bleeds into sympathy. Empathy means experiencing someone else's feelings. As empaths, we can easily detect another person's energy and often wear the energy. So if someone else is suffering, we feel it too. Sympathy, on the other hand, means understanding someone else's suffering. And when it comes to us who have learned that everyone else is a priority above us, and that no matter what another does due to their so-called pain, their needs matter and yours, well, there isn't even a second thought. So no matter how much somebody might treat us badly, we think that it isn't really their fault down deep, because down deep they're in pain. And so we dismiss our own pain until sooner or later, the pain that we feel when being treated badly over and over again supersedes wanting to have sympathy for them, which is where you're at if you're watching this video. Like, you've had enough. The narcissist wants you to have low self-esteem because they get to control you. And that's a simple fact. Let that seep into your subconscious mind. So what's the way to take that control away? Regain your self-esteem. Reprogram your subconscious mind with affirmations and self-hypnosis. So anyone who's afraid of hypnosis, I won't explain it here, but know that nothing can harm you. You're the one in control. I could tell you to get self-esteem by going out and meeting new friends, but that is external referencing. You want to feel confident from the inside, not because someone else says so. That's codependency. You want to internal reference so that you literally become confident. Nobody can take that away. There are lots of these videos on YouTube, and I also have a couple on this channel that you can use. You've got nothing to lose except time. Ask yourself, how badly do I want this? It's 20 minutes of your time twice daily for approximately 3 weeks, and you can change the beliefs and then attract way better things in your life. Once you have your confidence back, the narcissist will see it. And sure, they'll push back to try to regain control. They're scared and they're desperate. They're losing ground. So when they do, remember that. You, on the other hand, will be bothered less and less by what they say to you. You'll have a different perspective. Okay, so moving on. Next, we have radical acceptance. You have to stop thinking that deep down that isn't who they are. That keeps you hooked in the relationship. They have a different brain than you do, literally. And to spend our thoughts thinking this untruth keeps you enslaved. The truth will set you free, so be willing to look at the cold, harsh facts. They aren't like you. They don't love. And I know that's hard to hear, but it's the truth. They don't know love at all with anyone. So it's not you, it's them. It's not that you're not good enough. It's they're dysfunctional. They're not healthy people. Have any of you experienced growing up where you start to date a boy or a girl and you're so enamored by them and all of a sudden you see them differently and just want to get away, so you break up with them? And you look back and you think to yourself, what was I thinking? It's what will happen to you when you finally see the truth, where you'll finally be able to use radical acceptance. And at that point, the narcissist will cease having power over you. How do you get to radical acceptance? You have to be willing to look at the truth. And another one that can be quite helpful is the serenity prayer. Sometimes saying it over and over for a couple of days when you're going through another heavy time with them and are feeling desperate. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This prayer has played a beautiful role in my hard times. Stay calm at all times. I know that sometimes all you want to do is fight back for your rights, and you're so angry that you want to put the narcissist in their place. And that's where you have it wrong. You aren't putting them back into their place by attempting to stand up for yourself. They are putting you into your place because it's what they're after. They thrive on this. And I'm not just saying this out of spite. This is a reality. They are thriving on this. It's like a big orgasm to them. This is supply. Nothing bothers them more than not being able to get you to react. That and no longer giving them supply, of course. But right there, you aren't giving them supply anyway. But by staying calm, you're the one in control. And hold on to yourself because they'll push every button. And the more you stay calm and look calm, the more that they'll come unhinged. Even if you don't see it. For you, it won't be easy while this is happening though, but keep that knowledge forefront in your mind. And while you calmly sit there, do yourself a solid and practice the breath, because the breath will still the mind. That's a power that we all have, so use it. So breathe in slowly through the nose, nice breath in. And if your breath is 4, 5, 6 seconds, exhale the same amount of time out and feel the breath going into the body, back and forth and back and forth, in and out. Next, and you've all heard this one before, is boundaries. When they treat you badly, let them know that if they yell, for example, or go into a fit of rage, that you will not participate. Let them know calmly, because the calm is the last thing they want. Like I just said, they're forced to respect that. The next time that they misbehave, calmly walk away. Go see friends, go for a walk, or read a book. And at the same time, take note of this. Watch your expectations, because I've had people say, yes, but I've tried it and it didn't work. Of course it didn't work the first few times. But after you do this consistently and always, always calmly, no slamming doors, they will start to realize that they just can't get the supply that they're trying to get by upsetting you. The next one that I want to talk about is detachment. So detach, or as we call it, gray rock. You no longer want to tell them everything like you usually do. You don't want to tell them about your day. And believe me, they'll notice. They'll notice that you're no longer counting on them, which means that you aren't putting them on a pedestal. All of a sudden, they aren't all that. They're no longer your world. They won't like that. So if, for example, something went on in your day and they come home and they see that you're upset about something, politely tell them that you prefer to address this internally. And if they try to push it, which they will, they'll accuse you of being this angry person and passive aggressive. And that's where you'll politely and kindly, respectfully tell them that you're not angry and that you're just taking space to process and excuse yourself. You want to walk away from this situation because they'll push. So step away from them more and more. And you don't have to go completely over the top either. Let it be natural. Start spending more time with you in quiet places. Take yourself to a park and journal. Read a good book. It doesn't have to be things like I'll show you and there you are doing night out on the towns with friends. That in itself can trigger the narcissist a bit too much. You still want to protect yourself and you want to be mature out of all of this. Little steps will lead to a healing path. Little steps will keep the narcissist at bay, but scared and losing control over you. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Don't argue. I know it's tempting. And say no to them without being mean. You want to be polite all the time with them. You want to be calm and respectful, because what you're doing, even though you feel like being disrespectful with them, but what you're actually doing is you're winning by doing this because you're not giving them any ammunition. So the more you're polite, the more calm you stay, the less that they can attack you. So you say no without being mean. You politely say things to them like, example, if you're the one that normally cooks, say something like, I'm so sorry, hon. I really don't feel like making dinner tonight. I'm sure you can find something in the fridge. And this can have an impact on them, leaving them feeling that they really don't matter, that you don't see them on this pedestal. And because you said your no so respectfully, you've disarmed them. They're left having to walk away with no supply. At one point, this discreet gray rock will leave them no choice but to go attack someone else, because you are no longer the person who is going to stand for disrespect. You're not only demanding respect from them, you're demanding it from yourself. Now you refuse to justify and defend, and you refuse to be dragged into circular conversations. We're the ones who allow these things to happen. And so you no longer feel like being the slave who will freely give information out that they can weaponize, or be the slave that ensures all of their selfish demands. Awareness. Be aware. Don't give them opportunities. They'll really be looking, so no rolling of the eyes, no sarcastic remarks. Gray rock. And lastly, do the work. Be the change that you want to see. You've been spending all kinds of times wasted in survival mode, always trying to find extra things to do for them just to ensure that they won't come home and create another chaotic dance. You're trying to find peace, and there are better ways to find peace, and it doesn't cost you your well-being. You've spent months or years trying to be enough for them, and it's been nothing but a downhill battle. It's never worked. So it's time to learn to become enough for yourself. And the only way that you'll be able to do that is by doing the work. And there are all kinds of resources out there. There is inner child work where you can reconnect with the lost part of self that you detached from growing up, that shows you how to integrate that part of you again so that you can become whole. And then there is grief work, which is a huge part of the healing process, because just like the grieving that we must do when losing loved ones to help us move forth, We have to grieve the parts of our lives that have suffered. We need to grieve the pain that perhaps our caregivers caused. We need to grieve the experiences that we've had in relationships that others have put us through, because most of the time all we did was walk away and start over, but we carried that pain with us. Until this grieving takes place, you won't be able to feel complete. You need to feel. And it's in the grieving that we are finally able to let go and move past all of this. We need to learn about emotional literacy, because like a person who cannot read words, it prevents us from moving forward in different directions, not only in the relationship itself, but dreams continue to be stagnant or sabotaged. A person who can't read words is stuck in many ways. They can't read contracts, hence unable to make the right decisions. People can rip them off. They can't get certain jobs, and the list goes on. Being emotionally illiterate means that you can't read emotions, and when you can't read emotions, you also can't make certain decisions. You can't respond in the way that you'd like to because you don't know how. Nothing is clear. All you know is that you're angry, for example. But there's more than anger. There's sadness beneath that. There's perhaps disgust and other emotions. When you can be clear on how you feel in the moment that someone treats you a certain way, you have this certainty of right from wrong. There isn't any question on whether or not you should say this or you should say that, or the freeze response. Emotional literacy develops a deep respect for self that you've never felt before. Anyway, these are just a few examples of healing modalities and what I mean by doing the work. Each modality heals different parts of self. Healing comes in layers. It's a journey, a beautiful one for those who embark. And there are courses out there. Google is your best friend. I too have an 8-week course, but I'm still trying to decide what to do with it at this point. I recently took my website down due to the unprofessionalism of the company that I was dealing with. But eventually, and in my course, I have all the same modalities that I talked about in this video and more. But in the meantime, I am willing to do one-on-one work if anyone is interested. So that being said, I am going to end my talk here and wish you all a great week. Be safe, be strong, and we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.